Hi, my name is Jeremy Caudle, and I'll be discussing the current state of global botnets and why they won't be going away anytime soon. So I'll be talking about the recent explosion of botnet growth, what's caused this recent growth, what can we do to slow down this increasing problem we've got, and what does possibly the future hold for botnet growth, prevention, and protection. Here I've got a screenshot of the explosion of internet devices called IoT. Um, they can range anywhere from traffic lights to security cameras to agricultural equipment to cell phones, light bulbs. It's just a huge thing. Everything needs to be connected online now. Well, each of these devices is a potential zombie in a botnet. Trend Micro's current statistics show there are over 3 million botnets connected worldwide with roughly 20,000 CNC servers. CNC server is the command and control server which issues the commands and updates as botnets phone home to update their firmware software and protect themselves even further from detection and avoidance. There's estimated 3.9 million or billion devices. That was in 2016. Um, Current estimates say by 2020 there should be 12.8 billion devices deployed online, and these are just IoT devices. These are not computers or the network that you're usually thinking about. These are just small in-home devices that are usually set up and forgot about. Um, in just 24 hours, 5,000 Android devices all got the a mining botnet that was downloaded from the Play Store. So we're talking about even phones you carry around in your pocket and something you probably don't even think about being part of a botnet are now there are becoming huge vectors and players in botnets. So what's all the explosion for? Just like everything else, it all boils down to money. Um, According to a cybersecurity proof point, one botnet started mining the cryptocurrency Monero and made 3.6 million in just the short period of time before it was extinguished. I believe it was over about a 2 or 3 week span. We're also seeing infections from online ad networks. Anybody can buy space for an ad, and once you own that ad, you can code it with whatever that you want to. JavaScript being where most infections are taking place currently, and even YouTube has been a victim of it. I'll show you this in the next slide. Um, this was taken um, with the Firebug extension in Firefox that actually shows the ad and that the malware was starting to take effect or infect this computer, and this was a cryptocurrency mining malware. So once you visited this YouTube site, nothing needed to be done from the end user standpoint. It was automatically downloaded, installed, and it started mining cryptocurrency and sending the currency to the malware owner's digital wallet. So what's caused this just huge explosion currently? And IoT devices are the number one target, just because there's so many of them and they're so readily available, and security is usually fairly lax on them. Why is that though? That's because IoT devices, they're very cheap. People want them, they want them now. Manufacturers are producing them as fast as they can with very little thought for security. Um, the likelihood that there's a good maintenance plan or a plan to keep updates available, that's usually on the back burner. There's just not much motivation for manufacturers to put this into the products. There's no reward for this extra time or money they put into R&D um, when they're trying to get them out as quickly and as cheaply as possible. The United States government did fine a couple of companies last year for some security-related issues due to the manufacturing process of these IoT devices. So, what can we do to slow it down? Hardware manufacturers must have to start incorporating ways to update software, apply patches, and mitigating these attack vectors, usually through software. There needs to be some kind of law or penalty for these companies that don't comply with security standards. We hold our healthcare up to standards. We hold the banking system up to standards. We're going to have to start thinking about all these IoT devices, and we're going to have to start holding them up to a certain standard for security-related issues. That means the government's probably going to have to step up, put some laws in place and some standards for these manufacturers who are developing these products. Now, that's for the manufacturer standpoint. From an end user standpoint, just like I showed you with the YouTube and the JavaScript injections, don't click on suspicious links. And I know that's common. Everybody should know that. But just reinforce that. Don't click on suspicious links. Don't ever download attachments that you don't know where they came from or you suspect might be not quite kosher. Another common thing, just keep your antivirus, anti-spyware up to date. Good, quality antivirus, good software to help prevent this from happening. Regularly scan your computers. Just because you have an antivirus or an anti-spyware installed, you should make sure that it is scanning your computer on a regular basis, and an in-depth scan, not just a quick scan over the file system, but you want a deep scan of every file on your computer. And once again, software updates. Everything should be updated. Browsers, antiviruses, your operating system, anything that you use on your computer, phone, PlayStations, such devices should always be kept up to date with the most current updates that you can get. During my research, I found a couple of websites I found very interesting. They actually host live footage of botnet attacks across the globe. Norse was one I found most interesting. I took this screenshot. It was an attack that happened against the United States from China after some political debate between the US and China. As you can tell, traffic from China to the United States was all centrally focused on our west coast, and each red line is an attack. So as you can see here, there are thousands of attacks coming from China at that second. And actually, when I was watching this live, there were so many attacks going on at one point that the browser couldn't keep up with the attack system that was going on. So you can see these botnets, they're huge, and now they're weapons to go against states. Here's another one I took during a lot slower time. Still a couple going on, but this was taken, I thought was funny, at a time when it would have been nighttime in China. So basically, they were all asleep. Um, Not a lot going on during that time of the day. I thought that was very interesting. So, what are our future predictions? What does the future look like as far as botnets? They're really only expected to continue to grow unless some drastic steps are taken, both from the manufacturers and from the end user standpoint. If the end users demand security in their products, the manufacturers will deliver. They will give us what we want because, in the end, we're the one buying the product, and if we don't buy the product, then they won't maintain a business. So it's supply and demand. If we demand it, they will supply it to us.